Hi guys, this is Varsha. Welcome to InspireLife.in, powered by Skybeam Solutions. InspireLife.in is back with an amazing story. Today we have co-founder and Chief AI Officer, Mr. Mahesh Kumar. Hello, Mr. Mahesh Kumar. Welcome to InspireLife.in.
Hi.
So we are so glad for your presence today, and we know a lot of things about Orbit Shifters. So can you please tell us about Orbit Shifters in your words?
It was back around 2017. So after working multiple corporates, basically I started my career with Mindtree, from Mindtree to IBM to Computer Sciences Corporation, then Volta. Then while working with Dalmia Bharat Group, I completely felt that I'm not happy with my job, what I'm doing. Then we thought I want to build some kind of a startup which is more on a leveraging exponential technologies, and that's where the journey has started way back in 2017. So while working in a job, why I'm saying it's not a one-man show. That's where I thought I need at least another two founders, the co-founders for me. So one has to be from US, one has to be from Middle East. So in this journey, first the milestone was onboarding Prashant. So Prashant is a good friend of mine. For the last 14 years, he's staying in US, working with the larger organizations. Then I shared my ideas. This is what we are going to do when we start. Even by that time, we don't know we are going to name it as Orbit Shifters. Then in the journey, we identified a lot of names, and we want to be very unique. The way how we do work, the way how we position ourselves. That's where we got first. Initially, we thought having a shifting orbits. So there is a story behind this. If you look at quantum physics, according to quantum physics, whenever an orbit revolves in the same, it is a normal. When orbit revolves in an opposite direction, it would be a big disruption. That's where we want to leverage the young talent, and we want to do that kind of impact. Then 2018 September, I left my job back to Hyderabad. So that's where we started. Now it's a fantastic 1.5-year journey.
Okay. Just what kind of activities does Orbit Shifters do exactly?
Okay, so basically Orbit Shifters is into three segments. One, we heavily focused on AI reskilling programs, whether it's because at the end of the day, imparting education and understanding the technology for the customer also, you need a lot of education. And I come up with a lot of training experience. Though I used to work in those days, I trained more than 10,000 plus SAP professionals across the globe. Even in fact, earlier I was SAP mentor also. Then we realized that there is a huge scope of the training and which we want to impact at a national level. We created a few courses, not on a B2C model, a typical, because we are not a training firm or something. So typically it is more on a B2C model. So that's where we introduced courses for the students, courses for the faculties. Even we have AI for CXOs, AI for managers, which are our trademark of workshops to educate industry point of view, whether it's a CEO, whether it's a mid-level management, low-level management, starting from CEO to developer level. When you say institutional side, a student to faculty above, computer science head, that level.
Okay.
So that's the one set of what we call AI reskilling programs. The second set is more into consulting engagement. So whoever have some data, they want to embark their journey with artificial intelligence, will start with either AI blueprint. It's more related to consulting activities. And the third, which is our flagship product, which is we call as a sports vision, which is into sports and games. So more into video analytics.
Okay. So as you said about sports vision, so can we know what sports vision is all about?
Surely. So sports vision is AI-powered advanced platform. Now let's say if you are a coach of one particular team or a franchisee owner, you need to understand how your players are performing. So that can be by seeing you can understand. But technically what we are going to add additional value for the stakeholders here, how we can give technology more insights. So basically that is what we call seeing the unseen. So when you say vision, we see only few things, as the eye capacity is a 5 megapixel. More than that, it cannot capture. So that's where in AI, there is a concept of computer vision. So if you see that once that algorithm is processed, there is nothing to hide there. So that's where you are going to get essentially a lot of insights. Using that insight, one of the problem we are trying to solve is how can we prevent an injury of a player?
Okay.
For example, now let's say you are one of the franchisee owner. Now you want to understand how many times your logo has displayed in the match.
Okay.
What timing, which time, what date. So specifically, you will have that insight. And coming to the health specific side, very soon we are planning to introduce a T-shirt, which is a smart T-shirt. In general, whenever if you look at analytics, we heavily use real-time match data. Now, whether it's a cricket, football, whatever, when the match is happening, we will take only that data. Now, there is untapped data which we never touch it. No one is even looking at that data. That's why we want to monetize that data. When a player is practicing, for example, you check Usain Bolt, he hardly run on a track probably 11 seconds, I believe, for 100 meters, right? But if you look at the background of the kind of practice, the kind of efforts, what he made, even that also it generates some data.
Yes.
That's where we got that idea. Why can't we have one kind of a T-shirt which can sense and which can capture the data? Once we get the data into the system, we can predict his health.
Oh. Okay.
Now let's say last 3 months, 4 months data we have. Using that data, we can predict his health in the next 3 months. That is the beauty of artificial intelligence. If you look at for mankind, we never had this kind of a technology. That was the reason why always everybody is talking about AI everywhere.
Yes, that really sounds interesting, and we'll be waiting for that. Sir, since you're a co-founder of Orbit Shifters, and what kind of challenges have you faced so far as a co-founder?
Okay. Well, for any startup, in the beginning, obviously we'll have a lot of issues, a lot of hurdles. Even if you take Apple, if you take Infosys, it's not built in 1 year or 2 years. So a lot of efforts, a lot of contribution will be there. For us in the beginning, one of the challenge was to connect the right person. Now let's say I want to talk to some head at one company level, say IT head or AI head. So getting that kind of a connects, it's not that easy until unless if I know someone whom I worked with him. So if I have that kind of introductions, it's too easy. If you don't have that kind of introductions, and usually we don't want to deal with the middle layer. So whenever we do things for any project proposal or always, we directly contact with the decision maker, whether it's 1 time, 2 time, we don't mind. We always hate this middleman business or some kind. So that's one of the big challenge in the beginning, until unless, because you are not proven and you don't have much success. So usually if you look at the decision makers won't give you that much time. So in a short span of a time, you need to convey your message, what exactly you are going to do and how you are going to create a value for the business. So that was the one. And the other side of the story, if you look at being a startup, resources is the biggest problem. And I'm sure every startup is facing the same problem. Irrespective of the technology, what they know, they're more crazy about their salary. The first priority for them is a salary. And they don't mind. Even we did with almost, we saw a lot of youngsters in the last 1.5 year, close to 100 to 120 people. So we got few good resources, very slight number. But if you look at the other chunk, it's they damn care about whether you want to learn the kind of a problem statement, the kind of use cases which you are working. They're always worried about their salary.
Yeah.
So, and retaining that resources, because in the beginning when they come to us, they're probably they are good with the basics. Maybe they know what is machine learning, what is the deep learning. And ideally, when we are trying to solve the problem, the kind of use cases which are working, so that's where we spent a lot of time with them and we used to groom them. And here in the process, after 6 months or 9 months, obviously they will get some good opportunity and they will leave. So retaining back, whether you are giving a salary also, sometimes they'll say no, because
Yes.
this is a very small startup. I got a job in Amazon, I got a job in Microsoft, I want to go there. So that retaining is the biggest problem. And holding the ideas. When you are trying to brainstorm with the team, somehow that when we say don't share, people always start, they have to share that idea. That is how the problem is. These three things usually we saw the majority of the major problems.
Okay, sir. So how did you get your first client and first project?
Okay, that's a good question. Trust me, I'm back to Hyderabad. Even we didn't have decided that it will be Orbit Shifters.
Okay.
One of my old friend, they called in the late night. He said, my boss, that means he's running for one of the mid-sized company in Hyderabad. So they used to operate from High Tech City. He said, my boss, who is the owner of this company, he's back to India from US. So I would like to quickly introduce you as they want to explore some other technologies outside SAP, because my bread and butter is completely analytics from the beginning. So when you say analytics, you talk about SAP analytics, you talk big data, you talk reporting tools, data warehouse tools. I'm quite familiar. So that's where the opportunity was related to some analytics. So next day I met him, and I just randomly asked some questions to the gentleman. One of the question I asked, what is that? How I can create a value for your company? So if you have 30 minutes time, if you don't mind, I'm going to explain in the board. Then he said, yes, go ahead. I just took a whiteboarding session for 30 minutes. This is what your strength is, this is what your lag is, and this is where next coming 3 to 6 months. I just spoke about 3 to 6 months. This is what we are going to do.
Okay.
Then he said, that's fine. So what is the next step? Then I said, so we need to get into a contract. So without advance, I'm not going to start any activity. So show me the check. Then I said, for that you need to wait at least another 30 days. Then he said, why? I said, still, even I don't have a name for my startup. Still, we are in the process. I'm just back last week. I left my job. So I need to register my company. Then he said, never mind. Meanwhile, you can go ahead. We have other details also. Then personally, we had just a contract for 6 months. Can you believe I don't have a website? I don't have a company name. That is how I got the first customer.
With your permission, let's get into an interesting round, rapid fire.
Oh, rapid fire. Okay.
How many hours a day do you work on average?
As such, there is no rule. It's when there is a work, I'll work. If there is no work, so as such, there is no rule. Sometimes I used to work 15, 16 hours, sometimes not even a single hour. It's all man-based actually.
Okay. Are you a night owl or an early bird?
But usually it's night.
Okay, sir. Which book has inspired you the most?
I read a lot of books, but when I was a student, one of the book inspired and given a lot of impact on me was it's a Telugu book, Mahaprasthanam by Sri. Majority of the movies, if you look at, all the poems are taken from that. So it's very, very powerful. Mahaprasthanam.
Okay, sir. If you are to write a book about yourself, how would you name it?
Me. I'm writing actually a lot of upcoming AI books are there. I'm writing on technology, but I don't think so. I'm going to write a story for myself. I'm not that much big.
Okay.
Pass.
Okay. What's the one most defining moment in your life?
Going back to my school days, I used to play cricket heavily. I represented even state level.
Okay.
So for the first time for my town at a high school level, I got the cup in my captaincy. That's the one in those days. And then table tennis, we are 3 years continuously district champions.
Oh, that's great, sir. And how do you spend your free time, sir? Hello.
I used to play with my kid, and that's what. Now, as it's everything, I'm spending a lot of time in home. So whenever I get my time, I usually play with my kid, multiple
Okay.
games, and sometimes I used to read books.
Okay. So, who has been your greatest inspiration?
A lot of people, but especially for me, it's always the first inspiration is always my dad is my hero.
What is your strongest quality?
Patience.
Okay. What's your weakness?
My success is my weakness, unfortunately, because always whatever I want to do it in life, I'm achieving. So that's why my success is my weakness. When I'm making
Okay.
success again, I need to do one more.
Okay. How has being an entrepreneur affected your family life?
Yes, in certain case, in the first year it was affected where I was not able to give much time with the family. Now we crossed that level because the baby steps are over. We are in a good shape now. We are able to identify the biggest problems and we are able to fix those things. So now I'm balancing both. So
Okay.
it is always a fun when you're working hard in the beginning. So it's always good to balance your personal life and professional life.
Okay. Yes. If you become a prime minister, what's the first thing you would do?
Okay, the question is very controversial, but I'll make it more specific to students. If I'll become a Prime Minister of India, then the first decision I'm going to take is I'll say no exams for the students.
Oh, really? Why so, sir?
See, with the exams, just they are studying for the sake of marks. Instead, if you put some at the end of semester, you have to do one project. That's where the innovation comes. And based on the hackathons, based on the irrespective, it's not only computer science or something. For any department, instead of exam, if you keep a project, based on the project, you will be rewarded. I'm not sure whether you know there is a one university. That's the only, for my knowledge, that's the only one university in the world without exam. They will evaluate the student. That's the only one in the world. They never put exams, but they will evaluate the students. And even if you look at the Japan education, first 3-4 till the kid get 5 or 6 years age, there is no alphabets, no 1, 2, 3s. They will just teach how to live a good human being. Only they teach values. That's where if you see a Japan citizens especially, they won't harm you.
Yes.
So going back again, if we put in this system instead of this exams, I think we can see a lot of innovation will come up, and based on
Yes.
that, which is completely transforming the education system.
Yes. Yes, you're very right, sir. And thank you very much for being with us today. It's really been a great time, and we wish you all the best for your future projects too. And how do you feel about the interview?
Hey, thanks, Vasha, and thanks for your entire team, Shri Krishna and Meghna, and your entire Sky BM Solutions team. It was a good opportunity to share my experience, and seriously, you guys are doing amazing work where you're trying to create a platform where it can be shared all the experiences and success stories to other vulnerable entrepreneurs or students. So looking forward for any other interview if possible. So I'm
Sure, sir.
the kind of experience what I have here. So good luck, guys, and all the best for your entire team.
Thanks.
Especially
Thank
Meghna. So thanks to SKBM Solution team for this opportunity. All the best,
Thank
guys.
you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.